Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Throwback Thursday. Boy, I came so close to saying the old family farm. We finished up that map last week, and we are starting a new Throwback Thursday map. This one throws us back to FS13. It's actually the first map that I ever played in Farming Simulator, and I think I can say with almost certainty that it's the map that I have spent the most hours on since. I owned this map. I loved this map. I played this map. I knew almost every blade of grass on this map. I know that sounds a little excessive. It is, but I gotta tell you, oh boy, did I put a lot of time on this map. And if this corner right here doesn't give it away, that house should give it away. And if the house still doesn't give it away, well, the name of the map is Hagenstedt. Hagenstarara. And you'll hear me call it Hagenstarara because of the fact that not only did I play this map, but I watched so much gameplay on this map from a YouTube channel called Pumaplow. Pumaplow is still around. In fact, John from Pumaplow, I think primarily live streams on Twitch now, but records them and puts them on YouTube. If you haven't had a chance to check out Pumaplow, I think it's Pumaplow 2 actually on YouTube for the live streams. I watched John and I forget the other guy's name. They played a ton on this map and also on Westbridge. Just fantastic stuff. So we are going to be spending some time on Hagenstedt. I don't know how many episodes we're going to do on here. Probably not as long as we spent on Old Family Farm. I kind of want to get around the map. We'll probably end up doing some contracts as well, just so we can make our way into different areas of the map. I don't know. I'm not super interested in buying off a bunch of fields and things like that. I mean, we might spend some money doing that, maybe even get into some animals at some point. But for the time being, I just want to experience Hagenstedt with you all. If you haven't played the map, well, maybe it won't be as big a remembrance for you, obviously. But if you played Farming Simulator back in the day of the Xbox, the first time it was released on console on the Xbox, or also called FS13, you'll remember this map probably for sure. Now, I tried to replicate as best I could the equipment that was original to the map, and I think I did a reasonable job for what I could find, at least. We're not starting light, that's for sure. We've got a ton of equipment. The little Kramer here, of course, was an original tractor. Excuse me, the Buer? Excuse me. That was also, I don't know if this is the exact model, but yeah, that was a starting piece of equipment. The Case Puma was not a base, or it was base game equipment, but it was something you had to work up to and purchase. But I loved having this Puma available. This was probably my favorite tractor in FS13 all around because it had power. It looked kind of cool. The old Schluter. Definitely have to have one of those on the farm. I couldn't avoid or resist getting that for us on the farm. And some of this other equipment, well, it's not probably particularly from FS13 style, but we've got a windrower, we've got a cart or a wagon, we've got a little 6-meter cultivator, which hopefully we can upgrade soon enough. Amazon was a huge name in FS13, so I tried to stick with some Amazon equipment. A spreader, we've got a tedder. Krone was also a big name in FS13, so we've got a smaller Krone forage harvester. This actually was a piece of equipment in FS13. Again, I'm not sure of the exact model, but definitely something very, very similar to this Amazon sprayer. Boy, this base farm, the mod author did a great job of just sticking with the original Hagenstedt feel. We have the chickens here where they originally were. The old days of having to go inside and hunt down the eggs and put them in your backpack. I don't miss that. The original silo bins. The only difference between these and the originals, you used to have to drive underneath them for each individual one. Now you've got both a drop off and pickup in the same location. Of course, the same shed here, except I think now the rain doesn't come through the roof, which is kind of a nice upgrade they did finally. I don't know if you remember the days of rain coming through the roof, but yep. We've got a, what is this, a Vaderstead cedar. I went with the case. Boy, I forget what the name of this mod is exactly. Haven't had a chance to use it yet, and I really liked it. There was a set that came out. Really nice job on this mod. But for a planter, we're going with this case. And I kind of spoiled and treated myself to the old Krone Big M. This was also a mod, or a part of the base game equipment. Really wanted to have that on the farm. Love that thing. Round bale pickup. Don't know how long we'll keep this around, but I wanted to get something similar to the base game. I think the original was the FAR, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been an old Deutz, but I think it was a FAR. But I went with this old guy here. And this wrapper is a speed wrapper. We'll have a chance to check that out soon enough. Very, very fast wrapping. I wanted to try that out as well. And of course, a Deutz FAR round baler. As you know, Deutz was a big name, also a big brand name in FS13. Base farm, we've got a place, you know, for dropping off, or I think this is actually a sell point for straw, if I'm not mistaken. And the classic way over here, potatoes and sugar beet storage. And then on the other side, fill up if you want. Otherwise, I had a chance to look around the map pretty well, and yeah, it brought back a lot of memories. It still has the golf course. It still has the campground over by the lake. Yeah, it's all here. So let's get into what do we own. We own all the farmland right around the farm. So we own 14, 15, 16, and 17. They are, I think they're all ready to be harvested. Oh, 17 is not. Actually, I think 17 has corn. So not quite ready to be harvested. Maybe in a couple months we'll deal with that. But we can get started straight away with getting our harvest on. Few pieces of equipment I have not used as of yet. This Deutz FAR harvester I haven't had a chance to use in the game, and some other things here that I wanted to try out that I haven't had a chance to use. Let's get started on the FAR field. We'll go from there, see how things are going. So yeah, this is going to be a fun series, I think. Hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as you did the old family farm. For me, like I said, it's a wonderful memory grabber from the past. I spent so many hours on this map. I played and played and played this map. I can't even imagine how many hundreds or millions, actually, of liters of grain and stuff I took out of this map. Unbelievable. And man, animals were so different back then. The care for animals, everything was much more simplistic, you know. No productions at all. Let's see if we have, let's see if we got our swath going here. I'm not sure. What are we? Sorghum. I don't think we can get a swath from sorghum, can we? Nope. Hope you're all having a good week. We're going to go through and we will definitely, we'll spend a few weeks here getting things done. I think really no goals particularly in mind. I really am not worried about our financial situation or anything like that. I think we're just going to experience Hagenstedt, play a little bit of Hagenstedt, get where we get, and when we feel like moving on, we'll move on. Oftentimes I kind of like to have some kind of a, you know, a little bit of a backstory or something like that that goes along with it. Maybe a little feel for why we're even on the map. But in this situation, I just kind of am going into it with really the feel of what Throwback Thursday is all about, which is just getting back to some maps that have been around the game for a while, and to me, earn their place, you know, on that special shelf, you know, that special list of maps that will always be remembered, that gave us so much entertainment. The game was special. The game is still special, but you know, the game was amazingly special back when I first started playing it. I couldn't believe that there was this game, and I never was into farming. I was never really that interested in farming. Really didn't care that much about farming. I thought it was, maybe at best, I thought it was kind of a curious thing, the equipment and stuff, but really didn't give much thought to it. And then Farming Simulator came around, and I was looking for something to play on the Xbox, and I don't remember even why I bought it. I think I bought it because I saw some YouTube play on it. In fact, I think that's exactly what it was. It was this British chap that was playing. Didn't know a thing about farming. Pretty much in my shoes. Never played the game before. And was a train wreck at it, and I thought it was really funny to watch him play and try to figure things out. And the game looked interesting enough to me. Missed a little there, didn't I? The game looked interesting enough. Man, I cannot talk. To me, that I decided, you know what? I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna try and figure some of this stuff out and see what it's like. I think it might have been on sale. That would be my guess. And I'll tell you, it was like a match made in heaven. It was just, I immediately was drawn to it and just, I couldn't get enough. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll send a hired help out here. Let's run back over to a tractor and get our trailer. Let's hop in the original. Little belt squeak there, like that. That's pretty cool. The game has indeed come a long ways. Boy, I did not line that up well at all, did I? It's like this, from the sound effects to the graphics, production. I mean, more crops. Animal husbandry has come a long ways. It's kind of crazy to think of how different it is. And I'm thinking, if I started playing the game today, like an FS22, let's say FS22 was my first introduction into the game, you know, how different it would be. I don't know, there was something special about it back then, you know? I mean, this is like, oh, what, 10 years ago. And I think I don't even know what games I was really that into. I think I was into some sports games. I might have been playing Madden. I was most likely playing... Yeah, I was probably playing some sports games. Oh, I know. I had a... what's his name? Was it a Tiger Woods PGA or something like that I think I had? I think I was playing some golf games as well, if I remember correctly. And like I said, farming was just not really in the cards until I picked this game up. And boy, then I became like farming crazy. I couldn't consume enough. You know, I was watching everything on YouTube I possibly could for farming equipment. And it was on consoles, so again, you know, limited with mods and cheats and things like that. And I remember how amazing it was when you finally got enough money to get that upgraded tractor, or that, you know, because nowadays it's just so easy to cheat and look at those upgrades. Even if you're not going to buy them for your gameplay, you can still go and on a separate map and maybe load them and take a look at mods and stuff. Well, back in FS13 on the console, it wasn't that easy. You couldn't just do that. So in order to see the big case quad track, you really had to save up money to do it. And I remember I had a Westbridge Hills. I think that was the second map to this. Hopefully I'm not remembering that incorrectly. That was the American map, I think. And I had it separate, right? I wasn't playing on it. But what I would do is I would buy windmills. I think there were windmills. I think that's all it was, were windmills that would do passive income. And I would start with like one or two, and then I would fast forward time as much as I could till I could buy another 2 or 3 of them. And I just kept that up until I had like probably 100 windmills on that farm doing passive income. And I would fast forward time so I could get money, big money, right? So I could load this big equipment that I couldn't afford yet in my actual gameplay, because I just wanted to see it. I just wanted to try it. I wanted to see what it was like to have a gigantic tractor on your farm. Nowadays, it's as simple as it's as simple as grabbing a mod or having, you know, a developer command or whatever you want, and you can have millions upon millions of dollars at your disposal. I think we'll kick off the hired helper here and let them continue on. We can go unload our sorghum. That beer sounds good, doesn't it? It's got a nice engine tone to it. Kind of sounds a little bit like the Ford back on the old family farm. Maybe not quite as throaty, but pretty darn close. We should probably grab some chickens since they're super available right here. Throw some chickens on the farm so it doesn't look like quite as sterile environment as it does right now. And our first grain silo deposit on Hagenstedt. I don't think I have played this map I'm trying to remember if I ever went back to it after 13. I guess we can go right through these pipes. I guess we can. I don't think I ever did. I'm trying to remember if I ever did put any more time in on it. So this might actually be my first map play on Hagenstedt since the good old days. So how many of you, what was your first your first farming simulator version? When did you all start playing? It's curious to see. It seems like I run into more people that have played it at least since FS 17 or 15. It seems like there was kind of a breakthrough. I think once Giants, and at the time, what was it? Who was Giants owned by now? I always forget. I think it starts with an F, but it seems like there was a big breakthrough in the game's popularity. Once it came to consoles, it really opened up the audience. And it seemed like also there was a big jump in quality from 13 to 15. That's one of, and maybe for me it's because I went from console to PC, so I had, you know, access to all kinds of mods, so maybe it seemed like a bigger jump than it was. But that's how I remember it, at least. I remember FS 13-15 being a pretty big leap in game quality and advancement. And then 15 to 17, I don't know, I don't really remember huge changes other than maybe graphically and stuff. And then of course 19 came around. I didn't play much of 19. And then of course 22 being here, and you know, graphics wise it's come a long ways, and we've got all kinds of productions and all kinds of animal husbandry, and they're still adding stuff to it, and it'll be super interesting to see. I'm really curious to see the next version, what that brings. As far as what I have enabled and disabled on this, I think, actually I should take a look here. I think I disabled a lot. Crop destruction is off. Periodic plowing is off. Field stones are off. Oh yeah, I put the kibosh on weeds. I've had enough with weeds, so weeds are actually off. This is actually, I think, the first map I've ever started with just weeds off. I'm not interested in playing with weeds now. Lime required, I do have on. Now that I think about it, if I turned weeds off, I'm not exactly sure why we have a spreader and a sprayer. That wasn't well thought out, right? And everything else is kind of your standard setup affair. We're going to get right into it with harvesting. We're probably going to join these fields together. I do remember, I'm pretty sure I had joined these two fields on the original as well. Seems like a kind of an obvious move. And I'll get out of your way. Boy, I still, you know, and I think these trees are, in the same place as they used to be too. I remember this tree always being in the way. There was a tree here, if I remember right, a tree there. That's kind of funny. I kind of wonder, and I've never done any mapping, but I kind of wonder if the map author for this was able to take the original map, what is it, the i3D, the actual Giants editor version of the map, and just use that. Because I think Hagenstedt, I really didn't pay that close of attention, but maybe there was an FS 15, 17, and 19 version of this map. It seems like every new version of the game, all the old maps do come back eventually. Somebody keeps them alive, which I think is kind of cool. Of course, a big reason why we're able to have this Throwback Thursday series is for that very reason. And the fact that that hired helper couldn't get that in piece right there honestly makes me wonder if the AI has gotten any better at all since 13. That would be an interesting study, wouldn't it? Oh, you missed that little... See, you couldn't get that little piece right there? Honestly, you could not do that? I actually might. I've got 13, 15, 17, 19. Oh, shoot, I've got FS11. I think I have all the farming simulators loaded on my PC. I should go back to 13 and check out the hired help and see if they're any better than we have today. I mean, nothing against Giants, but I honestly don't think they've improved. And if they have, it has been very little. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. I think that's true, though. Maybe I'm not, you know, how you remember things a special way because if you're fond of them. Well, maybe that's how it is for me. Maybe they were a lot worse than I remember them being. I know one thing for sure. When I loaded 13, when I loaded the original Hagenstedt map to check out the list of original equipment, wow, the graphics have improved so much. Like, this is unbelievably better than what the original, well, I shouldn't say original, but FS13 graphics were. Holy cow, what a difference. Let me do a headland for our hired help since they struggled to figure out how to do that. Can I not get a swath? There's our swath. Okay, we got it. We could probably use some straw, just in case. If nothing else, we can always sell it. Now, this map has gone through at least one update, maybe more than one update. I think it is a pretty darn stable map at this point. I think the map author has kind of squashed any bugs. One thing that they did add, and I don't remember it being there, is that barn on the end there is actually one of those bale and pallet storage facilities. So it must have been updated since Giants added that into the game, which wasn't that long ago, I don't think. This thing right here, I don't know if I remember that being there when this map was originally released in 22. I think this was added not too long ago. I might be wrong, but I think that's right. But it's nice to have, that's for sure. We better run and unload our trailer. Keep up with our harvester here. Actually a pretty decent sized field. Come to think of it, I don't know that we have a plow. We may have to buy a plow so we can join those fields together. We could do the mod that allows cultivators to do plowing. That might be the easiest way to go. I don't know though. As much as I'm not a huge fan of those mold board plows, playing on this map kind of gives me a bit of an itch to have one. Let's see what we got going on here for our fields. So we're harvesting everything right now. The only thing is canola, poplar grass, and oilseed radish. So we might be waiting till next month. We might do a field of canola, but we'll probably wait till next month to get going on wheat and barley. We'll have to do a little drive around downtown Hagenstedt. That is also a very classic it's got the old classic Hagenstedt houses. Same, just everything is just so much the same as it was with the original map. It's so cool to see. Oh, and speaking of the same, I don't think traffic's really gotten any better either. Now, it seems like there was a version of the game where traffic was not immovable. Like right now, if you hit a car, they're like bricks, you know, they just don't go anywhere. But I thought I remembered one of the versions of Farming Simulator where you could hit traffic and the cars would actually, it seems like they were either you'd go right through them or they would actually, I don't know, there was something different with the traffic models and I can't remember what it was, but uh-oh. Is he full already? I'm too busy talking. I should be keeping our harvester empty. That didn't take long to fill up, did it? I gotcha. Always try to keep the combine moving, right? So like I said, we'll spend a few weeks here on Hagenstedt. We'll probably end up doing some contracts just so we can get around the map a little bit more and experience different parts of the map, because I doubt we're going to get to the point where we're going to be buying, you know, fields way in the, you know, in this upper north area here. This massive field 1, oh my gosh, I remember that. I actually still remember when I was able to buy that thing. Huge. Oh, and this field 40 is massive too. But yeah, you've got the the original golf course down here. Classic. Used to go down there. If you remember, if you played 13, do you remember the old, instead of contracts, they had those, I don't even know, what did they call them? Like challenges? Is that what they were called? Where every once in a while you'd get this pop-up that says, ooh, the golf course needs to be, the grass on the golf course needs to be mowed. Do you want to accept this challenge? And you could say yes or no to it. And if you accepted the challenge, I think there was a time limit to how long you had to do it. I remember too, some of the challenges early on in the game included equipment that you didn't get at the beginning of the game. So like these pallets have to be moved from point A to point B, and it's like you had no way of dealing with pallets. So maybe not the best planning all the time, the way the game was, but occasionally you would get a challenge that you could do and would earn you some extra cash. And boy, I'll tell you, every bit of cash you could earn early on in the game was nice to have. I was gonna grab that Amazon, now I forget what the name of the mower was. You can still get it. Somebody, I did see that mod somewhere that has the original Amazon riding mower. I was going to grab that, but I thought, you know, we're not going to use that. I'm not going to ride around on a riding mower getting grass. I don't think we have to. I don't think we'll be that desperate for grass initially. Let's park you here for a second. And just before I let y'all go, why don't we just take a quick peek? So here's the classic golf course. In fact, now it doesn't look like the grass here is mowable like the original one. Be nice if we could actually play around a golf, wouldn't it? What I don't see here is, where are the golf holes? The holes for the players. That would be a boring and frustrating game of golf if you had nothing to sink the ball into. Okay, I see sand traps, but no flags and no holes. All right. Well, welcome to FS22 in Hagenstedt. And then I think somewhere over here, a little bit further away than I remembered, we have the classic campground. This campground looks really familiar. You know, I think this is the same exact campground, or it's at least very similar to the campground that was in the Giants Island map. What version of Farm Sim was that? Or was that a modded map way back in the day? Do you remember and it's still around. You can even get it today. Somebody keeps updating that map as well. Oh, this does not look particularly pleasant. I don't know if I'd want my kids swimming in this or not. Okay. With the original campground, of course. And when I was looking at the map too, I remember the original BGA. Wow, did I spend a lot of time here too, using these bunker silos. In fact, these bunker silos look like the original bunker silos too. Spent a lot of time in this area. And there's a store or a sell point or something right down here, if I remember right. Yeah. I think this is a sell point. It is indeed. Well, enough reflecting. I guess we should probably pay attention to what we're actually working on here. But I think that's going to do it for this episode of Throwback Thursday. I certainly hope you all enjoy coming back to Hagenstedt as much as I'm going to. Like I said, I'm not sure how many episodes we'll spend here. We might start speeding through a little bit faster on the Throwback Thursday maps. Old Family Farm was, well, it's Old Family Farm, so it's pretty special. So I doubt we'll be spending as many episodes on the rest of these maps, but we'll go through here and get a nice feel for Hagenstedt, do a few different things before we head on to the next one, but hopefully you'll enjoy it along with me. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Thank you all so much once again for joining me. It is truly appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like, and I will see you back in Hinterland tomorrow, Friday, for end of the week Friday fun. All right. You all take care of yourselves. Bye for now.